Have you ever been in a room with her, no words spoken, yet you could feel something in the air? That strange electric tension, the kind that lingers when someone's eyes meet yours for just a second too long, or when she fidgets with something. Her sleeves, her necklace, like her hands are speaking, the words her mouth won't say. Welcome to a world where the most powerful messages aren't spoken, they're felt, because women have a way of saying everything without saying a word. And the way they touch certain parts of their body around you, it can reveal more than you'd ever expect. These aren't just habits or random movements. These are subconscious expressions, emotional flares, quiet confessions of attraction, curiosity, even desire. From the way she twirls her hair to how she handles her phone when you walk by, her body may be sending signals, ones your mind might miss if you're not paying attention. So if you've ever asked yourself, is she into me? You're about to find out. In this video, we're breaking down 10 things she might touch in front of you, and what it really means on a psychological and emotional level. No fluff, no games, just real, science-backed insight into the signs you might be missing. Let's dive in. Sign number 1, her clothing or sleeves. There's something quietly powerful about the way she plays with her clothes when you're around. It's not just style, it's psychology. If a girl likes you, even if she doesn't fully realize it yet, she may start adjusting her sleeves, tugging at her shirt, or smoothing out her outfit. Not because it's actually out of place, but because your presence suddenly makes her more aware of herself. It's a silent message. I want to look good for you, even if those words never leave her lips. These small, almost invisible habits often come from a mix of nervous energy and subconscious desire, especially if she's usually casual or relaxed about her appearance. You'll see her doing things like rolling and unrolling her sleeves, pulling them down over her hands, or adjusting her neckline, especially mid-conversation. Let's make this more real. Imagine you're chatting during a coffee break. She's smiling. Then, without thinking, she looks down and tugs lightly at the hem of her sweater. She keeps smiling, but that movement, that was her body reacting to your energy. Her mind might be racing. Do I look okay? Is he noticing me? She might not even know why she's doing it, but you should, because the truth is, when a woman touches her clothes in front of you like this, she's not just fixing fabric, she's adjusting her confidence for you. Sign number 2, her neck now. Listen closely, because this one is easy to miss, but incredibly powerful. There's something undeniably captivating about the way a woman touches her neck when she's around someone she's drawn to. It's not random, it's not meaningless. In fact, it's one of the most intimate, telling gestures in body language psychology. Why? Because the neck is one of the most vulnerable and sensitive parts of the body. When she lightly brushes her fingers across it, tilts her head just a little, or lets her hand linger near her collarbone, it often means she feels exposed, but in a good way. That's not fear, that's trust, that's openness. It's a quiet, instinctive way of letting her guard down. She's not hiding behind crossed arms or turning away. She's inviting you in, even if she doesn't realize it. This gesture is a delicate blend of nervousness and attraction, a physiological response rooted in vulnerability and sensuality. And here's something deeper. Touching the neck is also linked to arousal. It's the body's way of increasing sensitivity, oxygen flow, and alertness. All signs that she's emotionally and physically activated by your presence. So next time you're with her and she gently touches her neck, ask yourself this: is she fidgeting, or is her body telling you what her words won't? Because that soft, lingering motion might just be her version of whispering, "You make me feel something." Sign number 3, her legs or thighs. Let's get honest. Most guys don't know how to read a woman's legs. They see them, They might admire them, but they don't actually notice what her thighs are saying. And yet, they speak volumes. You see, a woman's thighs aren't just about aesthetics. They're about energy, nervous, sensual, emotional energy. Her thighs are often the first place to react when attraction starts to simmer beneath the surface. Not her words, not even her facial expressions, her thighs. And if you know what to look for, you'll realize she's communicating more than she ever would out loud. Picture this. You're sitting across from her. She's relaxed, but then you say something that shifts the energy. Maybe it's your tone, maybe it's a glance. Suddenly, she shifts in her seat. Her hand slides down and rests lightly on her upper thigh. She's not fixing anything. She's not uncomfortable. That touch, that repositioning, it's her body processing desire. It's subtle, but not accidental. This isn't just about attraction. It's about her deciding whether you're the kind of man who can feel that shift and not flinch. Because if you jump on it, make it obvious, joke about it, or worse, objectify it, the magic is gone. You've exposed your lack of emotional control. You've proven you're not attuned, just reactive. Stoicism teaches us this. You don't control the external. You control your perception and your response. And that's exactly what this moment demands. You notice her energy shift. You feel the rising tension, but you remain grounded. You don't lean in. You don't call it out. You allow it to be. And because you don't chase it, you become the kind of man she wants to move closer to. Here's where the deeper layer comes in. When a woman highlights her thighs by adjusting her skirt, sitting a certain way, or drawing your attention there, it's a test of presence. Can you hold the moment without rushing it? Can you sit with heat without needing to fan the flame? That's where most men fail. They either miss it completely or overreact and ruin the slow build of attraction. But a Stoic man, he doesn't need the moment to move faster. He knows real desire doesn't happen in a sprint. It unfolds in silence, in body language, in breath. There's also something primal about it. The thighs are a place of instinct. A woman will protect that part of her body when she feels threatened, but she'll expose it just slightly when she feels safe, curious, or interested. So when she crosses her legs in your direction, when she opens her posture subtly, when her hand lingers just a second longer on her thigh than necessary, that's not nothing. That's signal. And here's a real-world example. You're out with a woman who's casually dressed, maybe jeans, maybe a skirt. Throughout the night, you notice she keeps shifting her position, not nervously, but slowly, like she's becoming more aware of her body. When she laughs, her hand moves to her thigh, not because she's laughing that hard, but because her body wants a reason to draw attention there. She's not saying, "I want you to look." But she's not stopping you either. What you do next determines everything. Do you shift the topic to something flirty? Do you touch her too soon? Or do you stay grounded? Keep your tone even and allow that tension to grow. The right move is the Stoic one. Resist the urge to rush. Stay locked into the conversation. Let your eye contact speak more than your words. The moment is already unfolding. You don't need to push. You need to hold. And that's why women remember these kinds of men, because they made her feel desired without making her feel exposed. Your awareness of her thighs tells her something powerful. You're a man who sees beyond skin, a man who listens with his eyes, a man who knows when desire is ready but doesn't take until it's offered. And once she realizes that, she leans in, hard. I see it all. Most men move fast and miss the moment. But the sharp ones, the calm ones, they see the next sign coming long before it hits. You're about to discover one of the most emotionally charged gestures she'll make, and most guys never catch it. Stick around. Sign number 4, her lips. Let's be honest. A woman doesn't always tell you she's into you with words. Her body gets there first. And if you know where to look, you'll see it loud and clear. Starting with her lips. Now, I'm not just talking about when she smiles. I'm talking about the little things she does when desire starts bubbling under the surface, things even she may not realize, like biting her lip, licking it slowly, parting them slightly when you speak, or gently pressing them together when you make eye contact. These are primal, subconscious, and incredibly real. You're out having a drink, she's laughing, she's relaxed, and suddenly she runs her tongue across her bottom lip slowly, like time slowed down for a second. That's not just a dry lip moment. That's a subtle surge of feminine energy rising to the surface. She's not even fully aware of it. But her body is. Her lips are responding to your presence, your calm, your control, your energy. The average man misses it, or worse, he reacts too fast. He tries to mirror the move, compliment her, flirt harder. He pushes. But you're not that guy. You're the kind of man who recognizes the signal and stays still. Stoic, present. You don't reward the signal with words. You reward it with grounded energy. You hold the moment, let the silence do its job, and simply observe. Because the second you try to force it, you break it. Attraction evaporates the moment. Neediness walks in. This is where Stoicism gives you the edge. It teaches you that just because you feel something doesn't mean you need to act on it. You develop the strength to observe without reacting, to be aware without chasing. And that restraint, that's what drives her crazy. She starts wondering, why didn't he say anything? Didn't he notice? And the more she thinks about it, the more she wants to know what's going on in your head. That's where the tension builds. Let's say she lightly bites her lip while listening to you speak, then glances away. If you stay calm and just keep leading the conversation without breaking your frame, she's going to feel the pull even stronger, because now you've turned it into a slow burn. And that's far more powerful than any one-liner or slick move. Even more important, lips are a zone of vulnerability. When she draws attention to them, she's signaling openness, even readiness, but only to a man who won't misuse that signal. A man who doesn't flinch, who doesn't pounce. A man like you. You don't get thrown off by a little sensual energy. You welcome it with calm curiosity. You treat it like it's normal because to you, it is. You don't overvalue the moment, but you don't miss it either. That's high-status energy. That's masculine self-control. It's how you show you're not just some guy hoping for a chance. You're the guy who knows he's the chance. So when her lips speak without sound, your job is simple. Don't chase, don't call it out, just see it, and let the fire build on its own. Now it's your turn. If you've ever noticed a woman doing this around you, biting her lip, licking it, glancing at your mouth type, I've seen this in the comments right now. And if you haven't, you will, as long as you keep showing up as the grounded, focused man we're building here. Stay tuned, because what's coming next will flip the way you think about signals and dominance. Sign number 5, her collar or necklace. There's something primal about the way a woman touches her collarbone or plays with her necklace when you're around. Most men never think twice about it. They assume it's just fidgeting or a nervous habit. But that's because they don't understand what's really going on beneath the surface. When a woman begins to adjust her necklace, brush her fingers across her collarbone, or slowly trace the chain resting on her chest, it's not random. It's instinct. And that instinct is telling her to draw attention to one of the most sensitive and visually intimate zones on her body. See, the collarbone is delicate, it's vulnerable, it's sensual without being explicit. And when she starts subconsciously drawing attention to it, it's often because she wants you to notice it without saying it. Think about it. You're standing in front of her. The conversation is flowing. You're not forcing anything. Your body language is relaxed. You're present. And then she reaches up and gently adjusts her necklace. Maybe she even tugs on it just slightly, or lets her fingers linger near the top button of her shirt. That's not just a casual adjustment. That's attraction leaking out through micro movements. The reason this signal matters so much is because it's subtle. It's not a loud laugh or a hair flip. It's quiet, controlled, but the intention behind it is powerful. She's inviting your gaze without demanding it. She's opening a window and waiting to see if you'll look. But here's the trap. The average guy notices it and immediately reacts. He stares, or worse, he comments, "Nice necklace. That looks good on you." And just like that, the magic dies. But you're not here to validate. You're here to observe. You see the move. You recognize the energy shift. But you remain grounded, stoic, because you know that tension is built in stillness. Power lies in your ability to hold your frame while she tests your presence. This is where the Stoic principle of self-mastery becomes your greatest tool. You don't let desire dictate your actions. You feel it, sure. You notice the heat. But you don't flinch. You don't chase. You let her play in that energy while you remain the calm center. And that contraster movement, your stillness is electric. She touches her necklace again. Maybe she lowers her eyes for a split second. She's feeling something. And now she knows you felt it too. But instead of rewarding her with attention, you reward her with mystery. And that's what keeps her hooked. Let's take it deeper. When a woman draws attention to her neckline, she's playing with access. It's not about sex. It's about control. Subtle dominance. She wants to know that she can influence your attention, but she also wants to know that she can't own it. That's the paradox that keeps her engaged. The moment she feels you need her gesture, it loses its power. But when she feels you see it and withhold your response, it drives curiosity, craving, imagination. This is what separates the man she flirts with from the man she obsesses over. So next time she adjusts her collar, runs a finger across her necklace, or touches her chest while speaking to you, take it for what it is, a test of your awareness and control. You pass it not by reacting, but by owning the moment in silence. No compliments, no comments, just calm presence. Because once she senses that her subtle display didn't shake you, didn't earn your immediate attention, that's when she begins to lean in more. That's when the balance shifts. That's when she starts chasing your attention. Now, let's lock this in. Drop this in the comments. I never miss signals. It tells me you're not just watching, you're paying attention. And if this one clicked for you, what comes next will elevate your awareness even more. You're about to see signs you didn't even know to look for. Sign number 6, her hair. Hair isn't just hair, not when she's around you, not when she's twisting it, flipping it, running her fingers through it over and over again. Most guys see it, but they don't see it. Let me be clear. When a woman starts playing with her hair in front of you, especially when it's deliberate, repetitive, or slow, that's not just nervous energy. That's a primal, subconscious move rooted in centuries of feminine display. It's attraction on autopilot. Let's break it down. The moment she starts wrapping a strand of hair around her finger, slowly brushing it back, letting it fall across her neck just to fix it again, what she's doing is signaling. And she's doing it in a way that doesn't require words. Because if she said it out loud, "Hey, I want you to look at me," the game would be over. But this is elegant, subtle, sexual, without being direct. And that's why it works. Hair is one of the most visible parts of the body, soft, expressive, and deeply tied to how a woman feels about herself. In fact, studies in evolutionary psychology have shown that hair flipping or stroking often happens more in the presence of someone a woman finds attractive. Why? Because it draws attention. It moves the gaze. It invites you in, but only if you're paying attention. Let's say you're in a conversation. You're not pushing, you're present, maybe leaning in slightly, letting silence have space. And in that moment, she tucks her hair behind her ear, not fast, slow, precise. Then her fingers linger at her temple. That pause, that's the window. But most guys jump right through it awkwardly. They either comment, "You have nice hair," or they lean in too much, as if the signal gave them permission to escalate. That's not presence. That's desperation. A A Stoic man knows better. He reads the move but doesn't react. You see, the true masculine response isn't to chase validation. It's to register the energy and remain grounded. This isn't about ignoring her, it's about not giving her the satisfaction of owning your reaction. She plays with her hair because she's wondering if you'll notice. When you do notice but don't say anything, she starts wondering what else you see that she can't control. That's where desire builds. Now, let's go even deeper. In Stoicism, there's a practice of self-observation, noticing your inner world without judgment. Apply that here. She twirls her hair. You feel something. You don't suppress it. You witness it, and then you let it pass. This is how attraction becomes power, not through action, but awareness. You remain calm in the face of beauty, unshaken, and in doing so, you signal something rare: emotional discipline. That's intoxicating to a woman. Why? Because 99 out of 100 guys chase attention. They lean in when she plays with her hair. They try to be funny, flashy, loud. But you stay quiet, confident, observant. She notices that too. So the next time you see her run her fingers through her hair, flip it to the side, or touch it absent-mindedly while holding your eye contact, just watch. Say nothing. Let your silence say everything. Because once she realizes she can't shake you with the usual tricks, she'll begin to crave your attention, not because you gave it, but because you held it back. That's when you flip the script. Now drop this in the comments. I hold my frame. That tells me you're not just another guy chasing signals, you're the one they're signaling for. And if this one made you sit up straighter, good. The next move is even subtler but 10 times more revealing. Sign number 7, her ears or earrings. You probably don't think of ears as seductive, but a woman touching her ears or fidgeting with her earrings isn't just an idle tick. It's another quiet flair, a non-verbal invitation wrapped in subtlety. And once you start seeing it, you'll realize how often it happens when she's into you. Let's talk psychology first. The area around the neck, ears, and jawline is highly sensitive. Evolutionary psychology has shown that women instinctively draw attention to these areas when they're near someone they're attracted to. Why? Because those areas are vulnerable, and highlighting vulnerability is nature's way of showing openness. So when she plays with her earrings, brushes her fingers behind her ear, or even tucks her hair to expose that part of her neck, she's not just fidgeting, she's broadcasting. And if she does this repeatedly around you, that's not random. Now picture this. You're mid-conversation. Her body's angled toward you. She's making eye contact. And then, with 2 fingers, she starts lightly tracing the edge of her earlobe, maybe even spinning her earring slowly. Not in a rushed or nervous way. Controlled. Deliberate. That's not just a tick. That's sensual energy leaking out. Most men completely miss this. Or worse, they interrupt the signal by reacting too quickly, commenting on her earrings, trying to compliment her style, or even reaching to touch. Don't do that. What she's actually doing is inviting you into presence. She wants to know, are you perceptive enough to catch the unspoken? Are you grounded enough to not act like a boy when desire shows up in subtle ways? Stoicism teaches us to resist immediate impulses, to observe without reacting. This is where that mindset pays off. When you notice the movement of her fingers at her ear, maybe a slow brush down her neck, stay still, breathe slower, say less. Let her sit in that mystery. Because the more you respond with energy that's calm and centered, the more her body will continue to speak louder than her words ever could. Let's go deeper. In body language psychology, touching the ear is often categorized as a self-soothing behavior, but that's only one interpretation. In a romantic context, it can actually be both soothing and flirtatious. She's calming herself because you're affecting her. She's managing the internal reaction that you just stirred. And here's the game. If she's touching herself, whether it's her hair, her lips, her necklace, or now her earring sit, means you've shifted the energy. You're not just present, you're in her head now. But what makes this powerful is when you don't chase it. You don't lean in to talk more. You don't get flustered or flatter. You just hold your frame, keep eye contact, and let her feel the weight of her own attraction. That's what makes you unforgettable. The modern world teaches men to talk more, impress more, do more. But the truth? You become magnetic not by chasing attention, but by noticing it and staying still. In that moment, the fingers grazing her earring, you don't need to say a thing. You've already said everything just by how still you remain. Let her do the signaling. You just master the reading. Now if you get this, type in the comments. I read her energy. Let the world know you're not the type to miss signals anymore. And stick around, because the next sign, it shows up fast, but hits deep, and most guys never realize it until it's too late. Sign number 8, her phone. Let's be real, her phone is probably in her hand 90% of the time. That's not the point. The point is what she does with it when she's around you. Here's the truth most men overlook. The phone is her personal world, her distraction, her escape. So when she puts it down, turns it over, or even forgets about it when she's with you, that's not small. That's one of the biggest signs she's locked in. And no, she doesn't need to say it. The act speaks louder. If she silences notifications or flips it upside down on the table, it shows intention. It means she wants the world lessened, wants your energy more. She's not keeping one foot in the conversation and one foot in Instagram. She's stepping fully into your presence. But if you want to really know where her attention is, here's what to watch for. Micro-checking. She picks it up, looks at the screen, doesn't reply, then sets it down again. Why? Because she's not distracted, she's anxious. Anxious that she might miss something from you. This is where it flips. If she starts checking her phone because you've gone quiet, not because she's bored, but because she's wondering if you're going to text, that's a psychological grip. You're in her nervous system. But here's the danger. Too many men misread this and try to force a response. They'll ask, "Why are you on your phone? Am I boring you? Who are you texting? Huge mistake." That's neediness talking. That's insecurity taking the wheel. A woman who's attracted to you doesn't want to be policed. She wants to feel free around you but choose you anyway. If she pulls out her phone while you're with her, but she checks herself, puts it away, and returns to eye contact, that's commitment. That's subtle surrender. She's letting go of constant dopamine hits from the digital world because the real hit is right in front of her you. Now here's where Stoicism sharpens your edge. A Stoic man doesn't get fazed by a screen. He doesn't compete with pixels. He doesn't let his mood swing based on how often she looks at her phone. Instead, he watches, observes, reads the context, not the surface. He knows that the goal isn't to get her full attention by asking for it. It's to earn it by being so present, so grounded, and so calm that everything else fades in comparison. Let's say you're texting her, and she leaves you on read. Don't double text. Don't ask what's wrong. Don't fall into the trap of chasing clarity. A woman who's interested will circle back if she feels your energy hasn't changed. If you don't flinch, if you don't take her silence personally, and when you're with her in person, don't fight for her attention. Just be so rooted in your presence that she naturally orients toward it. Let me paint a scene. You're on a couch together. She's holding her phone, thumb scrolling, quiet. Most guys start fidgeting, try to talk more, try to ask questions. You stay quiet, confident, comfortably. And then, without a word, she locks the phone, sets it aside, turns toward you. She chose you. That's the kind of moment she remembers. Not because you entertained her, but because you made her want to put the world on pause. That's power. And it doesn't come from controlling her actions, it comes from mastering your own. If you've ever seen this shift in real life, comment, "I saw her choose." Let other men know you've crossed that line from guessing to knowing. And don't go anywhere, because the next sign, it'll show you how her desire leaks through even when she's silent, and you'll need to catch it without saying a word. Sign number 9, her fingers or hands. Let's talk about what most men completely overlook: her hands. It seems minor, innocent, almost irrelevant. But once you understand how subtle female psychology works, you'll realize a woman's fingers say what her lips won't. Her hands tell you more about her attraction than most words ever could. Watch this. She starts playing with her rings, twirling one around her finger. She touches her cuticles. She brushes her fingertips across the rim of a glass. She adjusts her sleeves, slowly, or fidgets with the corner of her jacket. None of these are accidents. This is her nervous system doing the talking. It's a mix of excitement, tension, and energy she can't quite verbalize. Attraction, when real, has a physical charge. And if she's not ready to act on it directly, it comes out sideways through motion, through touch. One of the biggest signs she likes you but doesn't want to come off too obvious is self-touch. That's when she subconsciously touches her neck, collarbone, lips, or yesha fingers. She's self-soothing, not because she's scared of you, but because her body is reacting. It's saying, "This is intense, I'm drawn in, I need to manage this feeling." And here's what separates men who kind of notice from those who actually understand women: presence. Most guys are too focused on what they're going to say next, too busy trying to impress. But a man who watches, a man who notices the small shifts, the quiet cue unlocks everything. Because when you see her fingers moving, you don't interrupt. You don't call it out like a rookie. You let it happen. You let her have that space to feel, to react, to express without judgment. And if you're confident enough, you mirror it slowly. You run your fingers along your glass, just once, not too obvious, not too soon, just enough to match her rhythm. That's subconscious chemistry. That's intimacy without words. Now, let's go deeper. In Stoicism, there's a phrase, observe without attachment. It means paying attention without the need to change what's happening. That's your edge here. You're not reacting. You're receiving. You're allowing her to show her feminine energy, and you hold space for it without needing to dominate or redirect it. That's what makes her lean in. Think about this. Most women are used to men either completely missing the signs or reacting too quickly, too needy, too aggressive. You're different. You're the man who notices the way her thumb grazes the edge of her ring finger and doesn't say a word but holds her gaze. You're the man who watches her fidget, not with confusion, but with calm curiosity. And that calm, it's what makes her feel safe. And safety, mixed with tension, that's where desire lives. Let me give you a real-life scenario. You're sitting across from her, the conversation's flowing, and you see either fingers slowly sliding along the rim of her coffee cup. It's delicate, almost sensual, not performative. She's not doing it for you, but she's only doing it around you. That's the difference. She doesn't even know she's doing it, but her body knows. And it's your job to notice without trying to make it about you. That's real masculine presence. Now here's the mistake guys make. They jump the gun. They see her doing this and immediately assume it's a green light to escalate. They break the moment with words, with forced touch, with awkward compliments. Don't. The power is in not reacting. The power is in letting her realize that you know, without saying you know. And that quiet understanding, that's what drives her crazy. Her hands are sending signals. You either miss them, or you learn how to read. If you've ever caught a woman doing this and knew what it meant, drop a comment. I read the signs. Let the others know you're not guessing anymore. And stick around, because in the next part, we're going somewhere even more subtle and more revealing. Sign 10. Her ankles or feet. All right, let's get into something most men never even think about: the feet. Her ankles, the lowest part of her body. but psychologically, one of the loudest indicators of female attraction. Here's the thing. When a woman's attracted to you, her entire body language shifts 7 if she's trying to hide it up top. The subtle stuff, the stuff she's not aware of, it's down below, literally. Most guys are busy watching her face, her smile, her words. But they forget the feet don't lie. Why? Because the further from the brain, the less conscious control. That's why people fidget with their hands or tap their feet when they're nervous. The same applies to desire. Now let's paint the picture. You're talking to her. She's calm, composed, maybe even playing it cool. But you glance down and her feet are pointing toward you. Ankles crossed lightly, or maybe one foot bouncing gently. That's an open channel. Her body is leaning in, even if her words are guarded. Or better yet, she dangles her heel from her toes. Slowly, almost like she's unaware it's happening. That movement, it's rhythmic, soft, teasing, and it has roots in subconscious sexual signaling. Psychologists call this courtship display behavior. It's primal. It dates back way beyond modern dating. When a woman feels safe and attracted, she becomes more physically expressive, especially through her lower body. Watch for her shifting weight from one leg to the other while standing. It's not about being tired, it's energy. Attraction wants to move. And the Stoic man, he doesn't miss that. Here's where it gets deeper. In Stoicism, one of the core practices is observatio clear, unfiltered observation of reality. Not what you hope to see, not what you wish was happening, just what is. And that's exactly how you need to approach this. When you see her foot movement, don't assign it meaning right away. Watch it. Is it playful? Is it directed toward you? Is there a rhythm to it? Is she mirroring your movements? Because when a woman's foot points away from you, especially during an intimate moment, she's either checking out emotionally or she's guarding herself. It's subtle, but it's real. Let's go deeper. Say you're at dinner. She's wearing heels. She crosses one leg over the other, and her foot starts bouncing slowly in midair. That's energy. But if her foot starts drifting toward you, or she gently touches your leg with her foot under the table, congratulations. That's a clear signal of comfort, curiosity, and growing desire. Or say you're standing at a bar. She shifts her weight, letting her heels slip out, toe down, just resting, her ankle exposed, her body slightly tilted. That's not just about comfort, it's about openness, feminine energy, unguarded, on display. And yet if you're not present, you'll miss it. If you're caught up in what to say next, or too focused on trying to be charming, you won't even notice what her body is screaming. Now don't make the rookie mistake of calling it out. Don't say, "I saw your feet move," or something equally awkward. This is not about trying to win by pointing out signs. It's about understanding the language she's speaking and speaking it back without words. And how do you do that? You stay calm. You lean back. You keep your eyes soft, your voice grounded, and your attention sharp. You don't chase, you don't react. You receive. That's real power. When you notice her ankles angled toward you, her feet playing lightly under the table, or her heel gently brushing your leg, just smile. Not a big grin, just a knowing smile. The kind that says, "I feel it too," without saying a word. That's the power of masculine presence. It doesn't need to announce itself. It's not loud. It's not performative. It's deeply rooted, grounded, observant. And here's the final insight. Most guys never notice the feet, but the ones who do, they understand that attraction lives in the details. Not the loud declarations, but the quiet signals. The flicker of a toe, the tilt of an ankle, the tension between movement and stillness. You want to know if she likes you? Look down. Because her words might be friendly, her smile might be polite, but her ankles, her feet, they're honest. They'll tell you what her mouth won't. They'll whisper what her heart is still deciding. And the man who listens to those whispers calmly, patiently, and without pressure, he's the one she won't forget. If this video spoke to you, don't just leave subscribe now and stay in the loop. This channel is built for men who think deeper, feel sharper, and live with intent. And if you're ready to take it even further, join our Stoic Brotherhood. It's where we go beyond content and into real growth, real conversations, and real transformation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow.